Good morning and welcome. My name is Barbara Young. I'm Chair of the RVC Council, and I declare the ceremony for the presentation of graduates of the Royal Veterinary College for the conferment of degrees and awards now open. Please be seated.
Chair, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, graduates. It's my privilege to be President and Principal here at the Royal Veterinary College and to welcome you here this morning to this fantastic venue. It's been a huge week in Westminster. There's also been a general election, of course. And here we are today at a very significant event in so many people's lives. This magnificent venue was the scene of the first General Assembly of the United Nations. It was also the scene of a Gary Barlow Christmas concert. And here we are today for our RVC graduation. Before we start formally on the presentation of degrees, I'd like to introduce the podium party to you. To your far left, Oliver Pybus, Vice Principal for Research and Innovation. To his left, to your right, Professor David Church, my deputy. Baroness Young, the Chair of our Council. Dr. Stuart Patterson, who will be presenting Master's degree, and a former colleague, but who's returned for one last gig, Charlotte Lawson, who will be presenting some of our students for their degrees this morning. It can get very warm in here, and I promise you, unlike for the game this evening, there will be no extra time and no penalties. And without further ado, it's now showtime, and I hand over to my colleague, Nina Davies, who will start the conferring of degrees. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, Principal and President, ladies and gentlemen, and graduands. I present to you Mrs. Elaine Acaster, OBE. A quiet trailblazer, whom I have been proud to call at times both my boss and my mentor, Elaine was the first woman in the RVC's long history appointed to the role of Vice Principal. And through this, she blazed a trail for many of us who have since risen to senior roles at the RVC and elsewhere in academia. Alongside an indomitable and meticulous and yet hugely kind style of leadership, her foresight and vision have had a profound impact on veterinary education in the UK, as well as on the enviable global position the RVC now enjoys. Elaine Acaster was educated in Edinburgh, Glasgow and Newcastle upon Tyne, qualifying as a teacher prior to obtaining a professional diploma in dietetics. As an NHS dietitian, she gained experience in general, community and psychiatric hospital contexts, and with another newly qualified dietitian, she revived lapsed dietetic services in West Lothian in Scotland. A career in education then began, with a lectureship in nutrition and dietetics in Glasgow, followed by head of department roles at Harrow College of Higher Education and in further education at Barnfield College, Luton. The latter appointment was at a time of decline of traditional industries, and it provided an opportunity to mitigate the effects of unemployment through the offer of funded training schemes. Elaine was then appointed to Westminster College, London, as Vice Principal and then Deputy Principal, with strategic leadership responsibility for a cluster of academic and business support services. Westminster College had an enviable reputation for hospitality and catering, which reunited Elaine with her original academic interests. Onwards to the RVC as Assistant Principal, with responsibility again for delivery of academic and business support services, which facilitated teaching, clinical work, and research. The digital revolution transformed many of these support services, and she successfully brought together interdisciplinary teams at a time of great change. Although students were the central focus of her career at the RVC, Elaine also had the responsibility of Secretary to Council and laid the foundations of our modern governance arrangements. With independent access to the Chair of Council for Governance and to the Principal for Leadership and Management, she was promoted to Vice Principal and was honoured to be the first woman to reach this position in the RVC's then 220-year history. Despite her always polished appearance and her perfect elocution, Elaine Acaster is one of the least exclusive people many of us have had the privilege to work with, and has demonstrated a very personal commitment to societal and community engagement during her career. Having come to higher education from a further education background, she was acutely aware of the barriers and difficulties faced by widening participation students, and she passionately supported any projects that furthered the inclusion of students from all backgrounds to the RVC. It's now something we very proudly have central to our DNA. My lasting impression of Elaine's success as a leader was that she took the time to genuinely get to know her staff, and she listened to people without any agenda except to glean good ideas to improve the RVC and the student experience. I remember my surprise one autumn term very early in my career when she invited all members of academic support and development, as it was then called, no matter what their role, to meet with her for 30 minutes to share their ideas. I took her up on this kind offer, but lucky for her, not everyone did, or she wouldn't have had much of a break over Christmas. Elaine is one of those people who manages to be both understated and deadly effective at the same time. She would never raise her voice or use her power to ill effect, but a raised eyebrow or a slight downturn of the mouth was known to leave colleagues quaking in their boots, not because they feared being chastised, but rather for fear of disappointing her and falling short of the high standards she set for her teams and always for herself. As one colleague has reminded me recently, one of Elaine's mottos was, "Achieving right first time, every time." And we did not always manage this, but people felt encouraged to do their absolute best, and this ethic has stuck with many of us. At the same time as holding high professional standards, Elaine held, and I know still holds, incredibly high standards of humanity and kindness. She seems always to have an extrasensory ability to know when people are not feeling their best or need support. A former colleague once turned up for a meeting with a very painful back injury that he didn't want to mention, and nor did he want to share the fact that he was dosed up to the max with super-strength painkillers. As everyone worked through the agenda, he seemed just a bit off kilter, but Elaine, of course, sensed things were not right, and she asked him very quietly whether he was okay. He was very quickly home in a taxi to make a full recovery. Likewise, on our first visit to Washington, D.C. for a veterinary education conference, Elaine arranged for our delegation to do a night tour of all the war monuments. They were lit up and quite incredible. It was nothing to do with the conference, but it was a very moving experience which created a bond between those of us who attended. She seemed to understand that this was as important as the conference agenda itself. And Elaine is also full of surprises. I remember that she loved Las Vegas and went there more than once on holiday. And she is a great fan of Scottish rugby. When she retired from the RVC, one rugby-loving colleague wrote to her bemoaning the fact that he would no longer be able to talk to anyone who understood the game as she did. She was sympathetic to this and wrote back suggesting alternative colleagues to engage with in her absence. A few highlights of Elaine's great achievements to date. 2014, OBE for Services to Higher Education. 2017, Glasgow Caledonian University Lifetime Achievement Award for significant career achievements and services to higher education. 2014 to 2018, RCVS Council Member and Chair of the Independent Disciplinary Committee of the RCVS. 2014 to 22, Borders College Board Member and Interim Chair from 2020 to 22. It's a tricky time. 2016 to 21, Queen Margaret University Graduates Association President, and 2017 to 22, Queen Margaret University Court Member. And to shortly add to this list, it is now my honour and pleasure to be able to present to you President and Principal Elaine Acaster for the award of Honorary Fellow of the Royal Veterinary College. Thank you.
I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Bachelor of Science in Animal Biology, Behaviour, Welfare and Ethics. Carenza Kate Prideaux-Bairstow. Simran Kaur Bambra. Jacob Cockbill. Julia Leovich. Ellie Lockwood. Kaho Timothy Nigg. Laura Putri Salins. Zoe Shen. Rebecca Xanthi Sutton. Wonki Da J Honey Binti Wan Pazel. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Bachelor of Science in Animal Health and Disease. Jodie Anna Hill. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Certificate of Higher Education in Biological Sciences. Caitlin Chetwood. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Bachelor of Science in Biological Sciences. Sophie Eve Jones. Caroline Nicole Luzon Irazu. Ching Lam Venice Yip. Mamie Zhu. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Bachelor of Science in Biological Sciences, Wildlife Health Sciences. Lloyd Davies. Alexandra May Nicholson. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master in Science in Biological Sciences. Joseph Connor Ansell. Laurel Iona Brandt. Carolyn Ranella Diaz Quesada. Emily Sinkala. Dwayne Alexander Tyndale Andrew. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master in Science in Biological Sciences, Wildlife Health Sciences. Puck van der Laan. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master in Science in Applied Biological Research. Juan Antonio Garcia Thomas. Camilla Valve. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Bachelor of Science in Bioveterinary Sciences. Budris Sufi bin Abdul Jalil. Megan Shirley Adams. Nora Ahmed. Sandali Ali Sabay. Maria Olivia Andretta. Connor Liam Arnold. Imogen Baker. Noza Hei Atika Binti Mohammed Hosseini. Holly May Bruton. Lydia Bucciero. Abby Chalmers Stevens. Maddie Louise Champion. Orla Toussaint Devoren. Millie Alice Donnelly. Ellen Linnea Dorland. Thomas John Ellis. Sophia Spendo Villa. Francesca Galina. Neve Rose Garrett. Eleanor Gouldy. Abdullah Razik Hamdan. Natasha Heron. Hiba Cooley. Oliver Lang Inau. Evie May Lloyd Tunstall. Kahe Christy Liu. Ellison Sean Lumsden. Arian Mayha Daywan. Gillian Mack. Rith Ashyan Siva Ganesh Waran. Eloise Iris Barbara Smith. Yasmin Olivia Smith. Chun Yan Abby Tam. Jamie Lee Thompson. Maya May Hui Tran. Dominique Vincent. Megan Georgia Wendell. Demi Lee Williams. Verity Jane Wilson. The Bachelor of Science in Bioveterinary Sciences is awarded posthumously to Ronnie, Gabriele, Rocco, Diapollo Lynch. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Bachelor of Science in Bioveterinary Sciences with placement year. Hafsa Farouk. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Intercalated Bachelor of Science in Bioveterinary Sciences. Christina Smirnova. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master in Science in Bioveterinary Sciences. Zara Jamila Hamada. Tegan Elizabeth Long. Molly Olivia Mann. Orla Dimphna Moylet. Diana Sivakova. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master in Science in Applied Bioveterinary Research. Isabella Alcazar Prada. Hannah Jane Mackay. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Intercalated Bachelor of Science in Comparative Pathology. Lily Colette Brown. Kinglin Dew. Mesa Korshi. Cara Faye Kropp. Georgia Ellen Whittle. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master in Science in Wild Animal Biology. Monica Chushkova. Ruby Harkus Cowlin. Amber Jackhart. Jasmine Elizabeth James. Maya Savla. Hannah Slater. That concludes the candidates who have achieved an undergraduate award. Please join us in congratulating them.
Thank you. And just to let the graduands know, there is a trip hazard on the stage, so if you can walk up either side of the red carpet. Thank you. I present to you those candidates who've achieved the Graduate Certificate in Advanced Veterinary Nursing. Melissa May Coleman. Colette Dempsey. Helen Louise Gaines. Ian Edwin George. Jessica Taya Hansen. Cindy Louise Haslam. Deanna Louise James. Hannah Jones. Desiree Daisy King. Megan Bethany Lawrence. Tiffany Ann Manger. Natalie April Melvin. Wimbikai Nandara. Helen Marie Stewart. Lois Shannon Stevens Timms. Sophie Jane Williams. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Postgraduate Certificate in Advanced Veterinary Nursing. Suzanne Miriam Gergin. Carla Jordan Husband. Shana Lee Jade Lambert. Abigail Elizabeth Smith. Dana Sushankova. I present to you the candidate who has achieved the Graduate Diploma in Equine Locomotor Research, Stephen Neil Hewitt. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master of Science in One Health, Ecosystems, Humans and Animals, Oke Abraham Awulu. Sana Barkali. Esra Noor Bashtu. Asma Mahmood Abdullah Bulshawarab. Edith Monica Acevo. Emma Victoria Gomez de Gracia. Lauren Elizabeth Yoder. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Postgraduate Diploma in Veterinary Clinical Practice, Linnea Serene Owen Gunarup. Hannah Edie Margaret Edgar. Luke Cornelius Jans Gunther. Carolyn Averill Hilton. Kat Jenkinson. Melissa Cheon Lee. Sarah Eliza Hurst Lewis. Martina Lee. Deanna Rosamond Mulsher. Joshua Harry Smith. Sarah Louise Stores. Danielle Kaylee Stiles. Celine Toh. I present to you the candidates who have achieved the Postgraduate Certificate in Veterinary Education. Alexandros Hardas. Kelly Ann Dean. Rosamund Isolde Ford. Carly Margaret Tyler. Beth Rebecca Walding-Field. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master of Science in Veterinary Education. Emma Elizabeth Boardman. Amanda Carol Trimble. Kirsty Young. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master of Science in Veterinary Epidemiology. Dana El Janabi. Bree Louise Merritt. Shivi Rajendram. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master of Science in Wild Animal Biology. Ashvita Anthony Vilvaraja. Arun Jamal Bunsura. Lily Grace Cherryman. Isabel Cassay. Devi Samanvitha. Annabelle Katie Ford. Carlota Kaina Josa. Daniela Martinelli Marion. Hero Liberty Pitt Nye. Sarah Paredes. Hina Sada Rangani. Eleanor Lucy Sargent. Sophie Noor Hasnan Varawala. I present to you the candidate who has achieved the Master of Science in Wild Animal Health, Volodymyr Basil. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master of Veterinary Medicine. Freddie Allen. Erin Brennan. Chiara Crino. Cecilia Gabriele Dansu. Luke Christopher Dutton. Jessica May Hornby. Yona Maria Yahola. Marianne Lapalainen. Theophanis Liatis. Hannah Louise Matson. Charlotte Eileen MacDonald. Adriana Scarbeck. and Oliver Taylor. That concludes the candidates who have achieved a postgraduate award. Please join us in congratulating them.
I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Master of Research. Gina Bryson. Lema Alwadani. George Thomas Longmore. I present to you those candidates who have achieved the Doctor of Philosophy. Roman Baptista. Huda Benani. Nina Mercedes Billows. Aline Bouquet. Rebecca Jane Daines. Alice Maud Mary Dancer. Lucinda Anastasia Elizabeth Evans. Maria Garza Valles. Lauren Helliwell. Peter McKinstry Holloway. Joshua York Kahui. Gareth Michael Cooper-Jones. Eva Maranova. Abigail Ann McGlennon. Tanya Mikhail. Rebecca Holly Morris. Gonzalo Sanchez Arsuaga. Julia Margaret Cundall Sargent. Sufana Moeddin Sheikh. Thomas Andrew Smedley. Emily Josephine Smith. Pak Kan Tang. Leah Wells. That concludes the candidates who have achieved a research degree. Please join us in congratulating them.
Chair, President and Principal, I present to you those graduates who are to be awarded prizes. From the Bachelor of Science in Animal Biology, Behaviour, Welfare and Ethics, the winner of the prize for first place in all BSc Bioscience courses, Laura Putri Salens. From the Bachelor of Science in Biological Sciences, the winner of the Royal Society of Biology's prize for top project from all accredited degrees, Ching Lam Venus Yip. From the Master in Science in Bioveterinary Sciences, the winner of the prize for first place in all MSci Bioscience courses, and the winner of the Royal Society of Biology Top Student Prize for first place in all Bioscience courses, and the winner of the Royal Society of Biology's Top Project Prize from all advanced accredited degrees, Molly Olivia Mann. From the Intercalated Bachelor of Science in Comparative Pathology, the winner of the McFadyen Prize for first place, Sing Lian Du. From the Graduate Certificate in Advanced Veterinary Nursing, the winner of the prize for first place, Sophie Jane Williams. From the Postgraduate Certificate in Advanced Veterinary Nursing, the winner of the prize for first place, Dana Sushankova. From the Master of Science in One Health, Ecosystems, Humans and Animals, the joint winner of the prize for first place, Emma Victoria Gomez de Gracia. From the Master of Science in Veterinary Epidemiology, the winner of the prize for first place, Bree Louise Merritt. And from the Master of Veterinary Medicine, the winner of first place for the best research project, Luke Christopher Dutton. And from the Doctor of Philosophy, the the winner of the McKeever Prize for the PhD student with the best original research, Pak Kan Tang. And finally, for student awards, the winner of the Student Union Prize for Most Outstanding Contribution to RVC Students' Union and Student Life, Jasmine Elizabeth James. Chair, President and Principal, I present to you those members of staff who have been awarded prizes. The James B. Student-Led Awards for an outstanding individual contribution to student education for 2024 are, bit of dramatical effect, for sensational supervision, Siobhan Avasingh. And in absentia, Raymond Macharia for top tutor and Lisa Thurston for creative curriculum. That concludes the prizes for staff and students.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, normally at this time in our proceedings we would be inducting the new Student Union President. But our current President has been doing such a fantastic job that we've decided it would be most, or rather the students have decided it would be most appropriate that she do it for a second term. So, Esri, I don't know where you are, but if you could stand up. Esri Purdue, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, our Student Union President for the coming session. Quite warm up here, I can tell you. Graduates, it's fantastic to welcome you as our newest ambassadors. And ladies and gentlemen, how about another round of applause for our newest RVC graduates? Graduation is what it says on the tin. It's a step along the way, and I'm sure there are many of us in this room today are reflecting on just such similar rites of passage that we've enjoyed in the past. Whatever they may be, they don't need to be academic, of course. Looking back on my teens, I decided that I wanted, rather than come to veterinary school, I decided I wanted to go to medical school. And my careers master told me that the only way I was going to get into medical school was if I donated my body to science. So clearly I didn't do that, and here I am today. And it's a real privilege to be standing here, I say, with our newest colleagues, our newest graduates, our newest additions to the RVC family. You know, we do recognize, I think, on days like today, just how special the RVC can be and how special our students are to us. I encountered a graduate from a number of years ago, and he said to me, Stuart, you don't understand just how special the RVC is. He said, it was the scene of my first drink, my first kiss, my first dance, my first real intimacy with my future partner, and it was the scene of my first fight. He said, it was a hell of a night. So, he said, I'm sure you all have great plans for this evening, and I'm sure they will be very enjoyable too. I'd like to offer, if I might, before we close the ceremony this morning, a few words of reflection on things that I've learned from standing here and interacting with generation upon generations of students. And my very first job, I remember proud as punch, arriving on day one looking super smart and looking forward to doing some amazing stuff with my newfound skills. And my boss said, Stuart, the first job we'd like you to do is to make everybody a cup of coffee. And I looked aghast. I said, look, I'm a new graduate. I've got all these skills. He said, don't worry, we'll show you how the kettle works. It'll be fine. But also, in that first role, I encountered as I graduated as a veterinarian, and I encountered a farmer who told me something that I've never forgotten, and that is, if people like you, they'll forgive you anything. And then he looked at his dead sheep and he said, just about anything. But it is true. If you are personable, if people like you, you will go a long way in life with your new skills. I also congratulate those of you who've done particularly well, those prize winners, those of you who got honours, whatever it might be. I have to say I was a fairly mediocre student, and I would say to those of you who maybe just scraped over the line, you too can be principal at the Royal Veterinary College one day. So there we are. But perhaps the most important lesson is to be humble. You have had many privileges, you've had many challenges, and I look back on the COVID years, which some of you, well, all of us have endured. But remembering that being humble and looking to those who have been less fortunate than us is a very important thing in life. And we are all dependent upon each other to make a success of our careers. I don't know who it was that said, be individual, cut your own path, be your own person, don't follow anybody else. Well, that's fine until things go wrong. If you're lost in the wood in the middle of night, completely without hope, and you see a path, by all means follow that. So make sure that you surround yourself with people who are going to support you as you pursue your career. The next point is, today is a very important day, and it is all about you. It's very important. It's actually also about those who are here in support. But from this on in, this point on, it's not all about you anymore. You're joining communities, you're joining teams, you'll be taking up new jobs in business, in laboratories, whatever it might be. And you will form an integral part of that team, so it is no longer just about you. And I think if you are being honest with yourselves, you recognize that we have a very privileged environment in which we've worked, and that when you leave here, you will be dependent upon many for that support, and in particular, the people who have supported you to this point. So to thank yous, I can see it at the back of the room, there are very many happy people. One or two perhaps with a little tear in their eye. They remember you going off to kindergarten. They remember you winning a prize at sports day, or not. They remember you going off to university, and now here you all are grown up today with your first, your second, sometimes even your third degrees. And they are extraordinarily proud and extraordinarily happy. And if you're going to ask them for money, today's a really good day to do it. Several years ago, we had a family who had three of their children graduating on the same day, Mary, Michael, and Peter, and I asked them, one with a BSc, one with a PhD, one with a master's degree, and I asked them which child they loved the most. And they said, well, actually, we love Madeline. She got a job. And I think there's now a real impetuous, there's a real responsibility on your part now to keep your part of the deal, get out there, find a job, and start changing society. So with that in mind, new graduates, why don't you stand up, turn around, find out wherever your supporters are, and give them a great big round of applause, please, will you? Thank you for all you've done for our students. I also recognize that we've rewarded or provided prizes and awards to some of our own staff members, but I have to say, a graduation day, particularly in the middle of Wimbledon, is never an easy day to get people to turn out. But we've got, I think, perhaps a record turnout for our graduation today, both from our council members and from our staff. And on your behalf, I thank them for all they have done for you, and I would ask you to join me. Thank you, people. Finally, before we leave for celebration, I turn back to the front of the hall and to our newest graduates. You are a raison d'etre. Yes, we're a research institute, yes, we're a clinical facility, but ultimately we are a university and we are here to educate. And we are, or you did, choose us on our reputation. We now are entirely dependent on you for our reputation, just reminding you. And whilst that might be a scary fact, I know that looking out today and on generations of past graduates of the Royal Veterinary College, that our future at the RVC is in very good hands. And we look forward to working with you as your careers develop. And I return to my school days, and I know that we've given out some education prizes today, but I was sitting next to a chap who was we called him Tex. He was from America, he wasn't from Texas. But our maths teacher came into the classroom and said, "Boys, you're so stupid, you don't know how stupid you are." Now, educational techniques have changed, ladies and gentlemen. That was before the beating, of course. But, and he said, "I'll prove it to you." He said, "Stand up if you think you're stupid." Well, we weren't going to fall for that one. And then to my abject horror, Tex got slowly to his feet. He's a big unit of a man he was. And our maths teacher said, "Boy, you don't really think you're stupid, do you?" And Tex said, in his drawl, he said, "No, sir, but I couldn't see you standing there all on your own." And I recognize that I am standing here all on my own. So with that, class of 2024, thank you for all you've done through the pandemic years and beyond. And all I want to say is now, wherever you go and whatever you do, you'll always be an RVC graduate. Why don't you give yourself a standing ovation, because this looks great on the video. Go ahead.
Our formal assembly is now at an end, but and I'm the only person standing between you and celebrations. But I just want to add my huge congratulations for everything that you've achieved in getting here today, and to remind you that that worldwide Royal Veterinary College family is out there and always there for you. So. All my very, very best wishes for wherever you next go in your career. And now we only have one more thing to do, and that is to go forth and celebrate. Thank you.